Well, to the music of the local band, Joel Smets here prepares for Heat 1. Hot day, lots of fluid being absorbed by the riders in preparation of the two races. Dehydration playing a major problem. Yes, to you as well, sir. There's Trampers Parker cooling off before the race starts. As race control, we wait for the riders to come down onto the gate for the start of Heat 1. Here they are. Smets there, number 3. Peter Johansson, 95. Trampers Parker, 99. 4. Van Dorn. Up goes the 15-second board. 11, the machine of Daryl King. Heads down. Gate drops, here they go. Heat 1 gets underway. Who's it going to be? Looks like a couple of Hondas into that corner first. I think Peter Dirks decided to take a long way around over the top. It's number 12 then that leads. Rudy van Leeuwen then taking the lead in this first heat. Smets, not a good start for him. Martins was in front. But it is Parker that has gone to the head. Van Leeuwen there behind him. Daryl King amongst that group. Where's Smets? Well, the answer is there. Down in about 7th position at the moment. And I'm sure that won't stay that way for too long. But it is Parker. Needs to win here. Wasn't a good time for him in Ireland. Little underpowered with the 360 KTM. But here on the hard tracks in Germany, a chance to get on measure with the big 600cc 4-strokes. Trampers Parker lives and resides in Italy now and has done for some years. An American by birth. Leads on the 360 KTM. Second place, Gerald Delapine, number 20. Martins is also amongst that group. There is Smets on the gas. There's Johansson, the second of the Husqvarna factory riders. But there is nobody, I think, that's going to catch this man. 99, Trampers Parker. Determined to somehow take the head of the standings in this Open Class Championship. Smets it is that leads from Parker at the moment. There is Smets behind Martins. Martins, the former World Open Class Champion. Track conditions a little slippery. Van Leeuwen beginning to drop down the order just a bit. But what can you say about this man? Parker, very, very cool at the moment. Daryl King, number 11. Back in 3rd at the moment, chasing the man in front, number 20. And that's Gerald Delapine. Parker still has the front. I feel fairly sure he's going to refuse to relinquish it. Delapine. Then Martins, 3rd. King has dropped to 4th. 5th then for Smets. And Smets is certainly on the charge. Johansson behind him in 6th. As the rest of the pack come round, there is Shane King. That's Daryl King's brother. Not a good start for him on the KTM. But it is Parker. Well, heading, or certainly on course, barring any mechanical breakdown or rider error, for a maximum points in this first leg. Up into 2nd then goes Jackie Martins. Then it's King. Then Johansson and Smets. Delapine there with Smets. And I think that was Van Dorn, number 4. That was amongst that group. There is Van Leeuwen. Younger brother of Daryl, Shane, still in there in the action. Scoring points in the top 15. Anstey, Mervyn Anstey, the British rider, number 8. Well, it's the first time we've seen him so far today. But it is Parker that has it. At the moment, looking very cool and comfortable. As Martins takes the high side, it's a Husqvarna gone into 3rd now with Johansson. Smets is now 4th behind that Husqvarna. They really are scrapping for those places, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. But Parker has the front at the moment and is obviously pumped up fully to take it. And look at King! King on the Kawasaki challenging the Husqvarna of Johansson. A real battle going on between those two. Parker going through, looking back for second. Here he is, Martins. And they're beginning to close on him. It's King, then number 4, and then number 3, Smets and Van Dorn. Certainly it hasn't been settled who's going to finish 3rd, 4th and 5th. I should think Jackie Martins is probably fully aware of what's going on behind him. Parker leads Moto number 1 here in Germany. And Van Dorn goes up into 2nd. Martins to 3rd, Smets to 4th. It is changing so rapidly at the moment. Johansson back there in 5th. And King, well, he must have been off the bike somewhere. Tremendous tussle going on earlier, and they must have collided out of camera shot. Parker still leads at the moment. We're looking back for 2nd. It should be number 4. It is. Van Dorn from Smets, number 3. Then Jackie Martins. Then Johansson. The 2 factory Husqvarna riders not able to get on terms with this man. Trampus Parker, 99, who leads on the KTM. 360cc machine. Van Dorn on the 500 Honda and Smets behind him on the Husselberg. Listen to the sound of that 4-stroke. Martins. Johansson, the 2 teammates. Neck and neck, out goes the board. It's for Daryl King, number 11. Look at the dust. Got to find your way through that. Parker comes around, takes the checkered flag and the 20 points. Van Dorn takes 2nd and the 17. Looking back for 3rd. And it was Smets. Gives you some idea of how much dirt and dust gets into the riders. Jackie Martins looking absolutely exhausted. Dehydration playing a major part. Well, time to water the track before the start of Heat 2. Try and avert the dust problems that have come up in race 1. There's Parker. Won the first race from that man, number 4, Van Dorn. Can he do it again in Heat 2? Smets leads the championship, Parker trailing in 2nd. It could change after this race. Johansson 95 there in the middle. 20, Delapine, they're off. Who's it going to be that hits the front first? It's tight, they're bumping up, we've got somebody down. And it's Delapine. Delapine on the ground, and it's Johansson that's out in front. Then it's Parker, then Van Dorn. Behind Van Dorn, that's Smets. Smets 4th. Then Boonen there behind there in 5th. So Johan Boonen rode so well in Ireland, finding things not quite so easy here in Germany. Top 4 coming through. There's the 4th place man, number 3, Joel Smets. Johansson it is at the moment on the Husqvarna from Parker on the KTM. Then it's a battle between 4, Van Dorn and Smets, number 3. And Parker is definitely closing. Van Dorn and Smets. Well, I don't know whether that was a helping pat on the back or a shower of cold water for Smets and that gentleman in the corner. But here's Johansson, and look at Parker beginning to menace the rider in front. Van Dorn, Smets, certainly not giving this up so far. Wants to retain his championship lead. Can he do it? Can he catch the man at the front? King, Boonen, 15 going through, but it's still Johansson that leads from Parker, from Van Dorn, from Smets. No change so far. 71 here, the German Dietmar Lacker. Johan Boonen pressuring the man in front, which is Daryl King, the Kiwi. But the battle is on at the front. The Swede Johansson leading 99. He's got old Johansson stalled the bike. Well, what can you say? Came out of that rut and stalled it. He's losing place. He's got it going again. Well, from 1st, I think, down to about, well, maybe 4th or even 5th. Smets going through. King just going through. Well, that was cruel luck. And inherits the lead Trampus Parker, a former 125 and 250 world champion. Won the 125 for KTM, the 250 for Honda. He's now on course, possibly, to take the Open Class crown in 1995. Van Dorn. He's got King behind him, number 11. Honda versus Kawasaki. Big four-stroke of Johan Boone, and you can hear it roar. 99 Trampus Parker. Well, if he stays where he is, he could well move into the lead. In fact, he will move into the lead in the championship. Where is Smets? We look back, and the answer is he's here. He emerges through the dust in the trees. Jarl Smets. That pit board's for King. Well, there's Johansson, and it's packed up on him again. Well, what a place to stop. Mechanical failure, obviously denying Peter Johansson. Well, he's pretty well miffed, I think, at the moment. Not happy at all. Well, these things happen. Look, he gives a fist up to obviously one of his compatriots, a fellow Swede. Well, it's back to the pits for an early shower for Peter Johansson. Well, if he can find his way back to the pits, of course. Here comes the checkered flag then. Trampus Parker wins 2 in a row. This takes him to the head of the standings. Looking back for second, it's going to be number 71, the German Dietmar Lacker. There he is. Third place then for Jarl Smets, and just the 15 points.